Here in studio, I would love to get your take on this. I want to share something that the former president said. You know, he's been saying consistently that this is a witch hunt. This is the DOJ coming after me unfairly. I want to share this. He said this. It's election interference at the highest level. They're harassing my company. They're harassing my family. And by far, least importantly of all, they're harassing me. The charges are ridiculous, and they know it better than anyone. If I weren't leading Biden by a lot in numerous polls and wasn't going to be the Republican nominee, it wouldn't be happening. Fair assessment by the former president?
Well, look, it's interesting that you hear about servers being, trying to delete things on servers. Hillary Clinton's walking free.
Good point.
Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, you name all those people. Some of them are commentators on competing
the
networks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, it seems almost like it looks like selective prosecution. But remember, we also have a Fourth Amendment. What they look like they're doing is trying to find anything they can. You know, we have a standard. It's called probable cause. You can't just go on a fishing expedition and pick up all the information you can. Now they're kind of leveraging people to pressure them. And all this was like, what does this mean to the American people? They're like, we've got Joe Biden right now using his son as a proxy, and we've got all this evidence in plain sight, and yet we're trying to find something, anything we can get to hang on President Trump. As you said, spaghetti against the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And I just think people are looking at this as like, how is this fair? Why aren't they going aggressively after Hunter Biden? And you know, what we heard is that the DOJ was actually kind of in cahoots with Hunter Biden in court yesterday in this big plea deal agreement that blew up.
Yeah.
So isn't the DOJ supposed to represent the American people? I mean, yes, Merrick Garland is appointed by the president, but they represent the American people. They're not supposed to be covering and helping Joe Biden and his family.
And that's been the argument, this sort of disparate enforcement of the law. I want to share very quickly a soundbite that we got today. Mark Meredith was over at the White House, one of our great correspondents, and he asked the press secretary about the possibility of a pardon, perhaps, for Hunter Biden. Listen to what she had to say.
From a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no.
Okay, she said, I just said no, which seems to indicate that the president told her, or someone talked to the president, and he apparently said, I wouldn't do it. That would have been my follow-up. Did he say that? In the time we have left, 15 seconds, your thoughts on that?
I think that she means he's not going to get prosecuted at all. I think that's what she really is driving at, because they're going to do everything they can to make sure he doesn't get prosecuted, which is exactly why all of a sudden this phony plea deal came up just before we had the whistleblower's testimony after 15 hours from the IRS in the Ways and Means Committee. They came out, and all of a sudden we had this plea deal, including a gun charge when he was never charged. You know, there was a plea on the gun charge, but there was no gun charge to begin with.
Which is amazing.
It's just, this is really suspect and really corrupt. And I think, again, I can't emphasize enough, this is really not about Hunter. It's about Joe. And they're doing everything they can to protect Joe.
I have to say, it is quite interesting, the fact that the GOP is in control of the House. Without that, the American people may not have found out about a lot of what we've been able to find out about over the last several days and weeks, and more to come. So
absolutely. Our oversight has been tremendous, and kudos to everyone who's doing oversight, including Chairman Jason Smith on the Ways and Means Committee, who brought this forward and created the portal for the whistleblowers to come forward to hold our government accountable. And I think that's what people want to see.
And more to come. Representative Tenney from the great state of New York.